All right, visitors' remarks concerning the agenda?
Yes, I do. Who recommended Vernon Perry? I see consider approving hiring Vernon Perry, but it doesn't say the recommendation.
I believe Pete, Veterans Affairs.
Yeah, Vern's working.
Okay.
He's actually worked in the office.
Will he be receiving any training on how to handle documents, considering what happened with the LAC?
He's actually already worked there.
Yeah, but this year, documents were destroyed that were county records. I was wondering if since that has recently happened, he was part of that. I was wondering if he's going to be receiving any training to make sure that that kind of stuff never happened again.
I believe that all the records that they handle are personnel records and they're Veterans Affairs records. They're not county records. They're actually VA records.
Well, he's working for the county, right?
Works for the county, but he's in that role as in veterans.
And he's had proper training on how to make sure not to destroy the records? Because he has destroyed records in the past.
Who has?
What are you talking about?
The LEC. Remember, we have a thing.
You have to correct the memory later.
Okay.
You carry
I'd be leery of putting him into any position without additional training, in my opinion. There is also considering the hiring of Dwayne for Director of Planning per the recommendation of the commissioners?
Yes.
Did you guys have a meeting to make that decision was it all the commissioners or was it one commissioner that had made the recommendation?
We sat in a salary board meeting.
Okay, so it was a public meeting where you guys had.
It's a salary board meeting, yes.
Yeah, okay, that's all I was wondering about. Those were everything. Yes, thank you.
Visitors' remarks, we got Hugh Austin.
Yes, I have two things. First, I submitted an application to be on the systems board as an alternate from the BCL a couple of weeks ago. Just want to make sure you have it. Okay. Second was I'd like to get some clarification about the proposed reduction of hours, or whether it's just an exercise that was asked of the county library.
It's not an exercise, it's something we're looking at through our process of budgeting and we're looking at all options. So that's part of the discussion here.
But it came from the commissioners. Okay.
Go ahead, Doug.
No, that came from here. It's we're regulated to have 45 hours. Most libraries are at 45 or 47 in Bradford County and throughout the state. We talk to the state librarian. It's no surprise that, you and I have talked many times. I want to see that library go to a nonprofit. I want to see your board that you sit on become not more than basically just a advisory board, which really kind of has no strength to become a governing board to run the library. Until then, we've got to be mindful of our costs, our budget, so we're working with it.
Well, it's just that you had made public statements that you weren't going to make any changes to the library until after the consultant. Was the RFP ever issued?
So the RFP has not been issued.
But it will be shortly.
So
It was issued once, and we got papers, remember, so we brought it back and worked on it. So.
But the new version will be released shortly.
So I will say this, again, my position is I've actually requested information from Heather Sharp at the library, state librarian's office, to better understood, because there has been discussions of whether it's 45, there's regulations that say 65. I want to understand what the regulations actually say. So I'm waiting for some additional information from Heather Sharp. That will obviously inform at least my understanding of what the options could be. But certainly obtaining information or trying to understand what if it were to move to a different number, and I don't know what that number would be, and I don't even know if it would move, right? haven't taken formal action on it. But if it were, I would want to have the information from the librarian first. So there's, from my perspective, understanding from the state librarian what the parameters are, and then understanding from our local librarian at the Bradford County Library what that would look like if it were to move.
Yeah, I've read the regulations and they're confusing. Very.
And that's why I want to get information from the state librarian.
Cynthia?
Okay. How to deconstruct the library. Tell the people Bradford County Library is over budgeted and not used by the local population. Tell this lie over and over again so people will believe it. Number 2, do not replace anyone when they retire or leave Bradford County Library. So this makes the remaining workforce twice as hard. Also, the Commonwealth's requirement of 2 master's degrees in library science is not met, since there's only 1 person employed at the Bradford County Library that has a master's degree. Number 3, cut the mandated hours required by the state, 65 hours to get the state funding by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. If the commissioners cut the mandated hours to only 45 hours, this would and could affect all library funding for the rest of the 8 libraries in the county system. Since the commissioners get the state funding directly, because the library system of Bradford County does not have the 501c3 from the IRS, so we cannot receive any money from the Commonwealth due to this situation. My question is about the 45 hours. Why only 45 hours? Who decides on the 45 hours? Where is the information available on the dividing factor, as opposed to the required 65 hours to meet the state funding? The commissioners are playing with fire, and we're all going to get burned by it for so-called budget problems, which we have none. There's not a crisis in the budget at all.
Just so you know, you get the funding at 45 hours. So you're completely wrong.
So my understanding of this is what I'm seeking clarity on.
Well, I don't know how much clarity we can get.
Doug, if I may. Doug, if I may.
Period.
There is a regulation that states 65 hours. There is another regulation related to certain funding streams that describe 45 hours. So getting clarity from the state librarian is a good thing.
Well, 65
Who
for
do we have on the
accounting.
phone? Yeah, who did we have on the phone? June Motown. She works for the state library. What did she tell us about the 15th time? So we've got a budget problem there. Hopefully soon you'll have your own nonprofit, like what you and I talked about, that governing board, or advisory board, become a governing board. But until then, this is nothing new the commissioners do. We evaluate all different departments. We've eliminated departments that have been cost the taxpayers a lot of money. And as long as I'm sitting here, I'll continue to do it. Won't apologize for it. That's all I guess.
All right, Walt?
You say soon it will be a 501, right?
Yes, I'm talking to Bill. Yes.
Okay. Are you specifically drafting the RFP in that direction like you did the last
I
time?
know we've had, there are 2 individuals that have drafted that. We've not reviewed it yet, but we will before we release it.
Okay. June from the state, was she involved in the original plans for shutting down the library?
She's not involved in any plans.
No.
She had
a
nothing.
resource for information.
Was-
Well, hold on. Don't be dragging an innocent person into anything of this nonsense. All she is when we have questions, June's been good enough to get us the answers. That's it. She has no opinion. She's given no opinion. She will give no opinion, but she's been one heck of a resource in the education of all this.
Between
And
the
so
65
don't
and
try to drag her in.
between the 65 and the 45, is that through a waiver or is it?
That's what we're gonna get clarity on, but it's actually in the regs.
Commissioner McLinko sounds like he knows
It's not.
the whole stuff on the 45 and 65. So
The state's got
curious.
regulations from 65 to 45, you can still get state funding.
Is it through a waiver
Listen, as a
for?
county, we could forego the $30,000 that we get. We could eliminate that maybe down to 30 hours a week, and we could probably save a heck of a lot more than 30 grand and not receive the funding.
Are
So
you
we're
considering
doing
taking
this-
it down to 30
listen,
hours?
I'm not, we are doing this very methodically to make sure that we get ready to, in my opinion, hand over library to this 501c3 nonprofit and reevaluate the way all libraries are done.
Do you believe there's enough money in the community to support another library surviving off of donations?
Do you understand how all this works? It doesn't survive off just donations. It's not the way this works. The way it works in other counties is the commissioners give a pot of money to the company with
Library system.
Library system.
the system board. They give, and then you get the state funding and they distribute that equally and proportionally to the other libraries. That's how it works. That's the best way it works. We do it a little bit differently than anywhere else. So, but we're taking a look at it.
So again,
We drug into this library.
I'm just going to go back to, I'm awaiting some further information from the state librarian to understand the hours issue better. And then secondly, whatever the future may hold will be informed by the process of the information we receive through after we hire an advisor through the RFP. So that's going to tell us a lot more information.
Just to verify on one thing, you've said before that there is no financial issues within the county currently. That a lot of this is just 10 years down the road concerns. Is there currently still no financial issues within the county?
There are no financial issues within the county. Our budget is very solid.
Okay. So you really don't need to cut anything at the time?
It's not about,
You cut wasteful spending, okay? That's what good government does. And you question where you believe there's wasteful spending. That's what good government does. Bad
The library
government
is
doesn't do
often
that.
not
So
wasteful.
That's,
all right, anyone else? All right,
Yeah,
all right, James.
as far as hiring Bernard Brown, is that because Pat Byrne doesn't have enough time on his own?
He needs co-counsel, as it were, to facilitate representing that client.
Because he doesn't have enough time, right?
Well, it's not a matter of time, you need two people.
I think
on
it's a function of maybe,
in a
and
capital
again,
case.
I would talk to Pat Byrne to get
He
the
can
clarity
explain it
on
better
it,
than
why. But I believe it was at least a recommendation of the American Bar Association on the capital cases. There'd be something of that nature. So again, but definitely seek clarity from Pat Byrne. He can explain it far better than we can.
Also, the resolution that have you decided what agencies or municipalities are going to receive community development block grant funds this year?
Not yet, we
I
have
don't
not.
believe so, no. No.
Okay.
there's a lot of paperwork goes into that. It's not our decision. It's our decision at the end, but not during the middle, because there's a lot of regulations and stuff that have to go into that.
Okay. And then, as far as this program, Be a Loving Mirror, is that a new program?
Yeah, that I'm not sure of.
Karen's right there, maybe she can.
Karen, do you know?
Yes, it would be a new program to our community.
How many people do you think you'd be able to help with that?
I believe that each session can hold up to 15 individuals.
Okay, so it's always a group session.
Correct.
And it's a free program for the
It would be free to the community, yes.
okay. Do you think, has it been successful other places?
It has, yes.
And why is it needed? Like, what is it that you're helping the families with?
The Department of Drug and Alcohol Programs has established a recovery division to include regional recovery hubs across the state of Pennsylvania in an effort to build recovery support services that will enhance and promote recovery for individuals and families. This is one of the opportunities to be able to build family recovery support services in our county.
I was just wondering, what is it that the families need that this could help them with?
They work on all different aspects. It's a unique method based on love and connection that helps families shift away from anxious reactivity to calm responsiveness. It's designed to facilitate information, transformation, and support. And each component teaches the family skills and provides them with tools they need to be their loved one's best chance at recovery.
And is that the recovery wellness program, is that a new program?
It would be, yes.
And that, what kind of personal training does it provide?
That would be the proposal from the entity that's interested in offering it. We're looking for personal training, nutritional guidance, an overall wellness plan, opportunities in a healthy, inclusive manner with physical activities, and fostering recovery and holistic wellness.
And that's also free.
That would be, free to individuals.
Okay, thanks. And it takes a village, that's not a new program, right? That's, okay, that's everything. That's everything.
Anything else, James?
No.
I just want to say Commissioner Miller and I had the opportunity on Sunday to attend the Bradford County Library Systems event that was hosted at the Keystone Theater regarding voting, and they had a showing of a movie called One Vote, which documents the various perspectives of a handful of voters to different locations in the country, and what they have had to go through to be able to vote, what they go through. One was a story of a family in Alaska that had to travel, was it 220 miles?
On dog sled.
On dog sled, snowmobile, and by car to get to their polling place. So it's a real eye-opener. I encourage anybody to watch that movie. It's inspiring as an American, and
It's like 270 miles,
it's
one
just,
way.
It's phenomenal. So I just encourage everybody, if you haven't registered to vote, considering it, please consider registering to vote. Make sure you get out on election day. And with that, I turn it back over.
Well, I think, I agree with that. Don't think your vote doesn't count, because there's a state house race, I think in Missouri County,
It's like 3 or 4 votes.
3 or 4 votes different. It does matter.
It's a dozen.
And it's a great way to remind yourself you matter and participate in your government. It's very, very important.
All right, entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, we're adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you.